Dragon Quest 35-year anniversary. Swinny, do you want to take over some of this stuff?
Yeah, I'll just mention just some of the highlights that they announced. They announced a whole lot of stuff, including a lot of Japan-only titles, things like updates to their Dragon Quest X, their MMO, and things like that, that we're not going to kind of get into the weeds about. But the big stuff, so they officially announced Dragon Quest XII, The Flames of Fate. So the next main entry in the series. We have no idea what
Yeah, nothing.
platforms it's going to be on. There's a very good case it will probably be on the Switch.
I don't think so.
Well, they've always released on Nintendo platforms like the last, even Dragon Quest XI was on 3DS. So if you think there's no 3DS anymore, to me the Switch is a safe bet for that, just personally. But I think that, I don't know, they've been weird with the Dragon Quest series over the years. The fact that they moved to handheld for a little bit and then back to main consoles and stuff as well. But yeah, so they only showed a logo, but the game is confirmed to be running on the Unreal Engine 5, which I believe went into, was alpha recently this week or something?
Yeah, early
like
access, I think they call it.
early access, yeah. So that's honestly, that's cool, but that's not probably the favorite news of the week.
Well, just before we move on to that, like, just the reason why I don't think it's going to be on the Switch is because they're doing it in Unreal Engine 5. Like,
actually,
to me,
that's a good point. Actually, that's a good point. I didn't link that together.
and just to be clear, like, so like Epic, who runs obviously Unreal Engine, they're extremely good at porting these things. Like, they port it to like mobiles and everything. So they've already said that Unreal Engine 5's going to work on the Switch. But for me, if you're using an engine that is like cutting edge, like Gears of War, the new Gears of War, they're saying is going to be on Unreal Engine 5. I feel like they'd be targeting something that looks insane, like looks really, really good. And you can kind of see that from the teaser trailer. Like, they're trying to go for a bit of a different look for the game. So
Fair point.
I just feel like maybe it won't be. Maybe, given how popular Dragon Quest XI was on PlayStation and then subsequently, Xbox and everything, maybe they're like, hey, let's try to make a grown-up version of Dragon Quest. And there's plenty of other games, as we will talk about, that are, would appeal to the Switch audience, I think.
Yeah, I just think I guess the player base and the strength of the Switch in Japan specifically at the moment is so ridiculous that. But look, sometimes Square goes with odd decisions for platforms and stuff.
That's true. That's true.
We'll see. But to me, the coolest news was Dragon Quest III is getting a remake, specifically a HD 2D remake in the vein of your Octopath Traveler and Project Triangle Strategy. This looks awesome. This looks so good.
Yeah, it's unreal.
Now we don't, just like Dragon Quest 12, we don't know what consoles. Maybe, maybe this one is safe for Switch. I don't know.
No, it's got to be for the Switch for sure, given that Octopath and Project Triangle, as you've written it, Triange.
Triange strategy. Now, this is the people behind, like, Bravely Default 2 are involved with this stuff as well. But like when we talk about development teams in there, like, it's so confusing trying to look that stuff up because things change names. There's internal Square Studios that get renamed. Like, apparently this has been developed by Team Asano, but that's not the name of who developed the Bravely Default 2. So there's a lot going on there. But all I know is it looks cool. I'm still very much a newbie to the Dragon Quest series. As much as I love my RPGs, it's the one series that I've kind of never really spent too much time in outside of Dragon Quest 8, a bit of Dragon Quest 11, and playing some of the originals on, like, their mobile ports and stuff. So I'm keen to try this. Honestly, this style of gameplay is more appealing to me than Project Triangle Strategy. So I'm keen to see how this plays out.
I was gonna try to find the clip, but I think I said any game that Square Enix is gonna release in this style, this HD 2D style, as they're calling it, I will buy. So I guess I have to buy this game. And then I got very nervous. So we haven't really spoken about the fact of how they presented this whole thing. So they had, like, the Dragon Quest, one of the co-creators of Dragon Quest, the whole series, and then like a Japanese model named Joy present all of these things, and it was really like oddball, very Japanese, right? Like a whole bunch of stuff. They're like, look at this really exciting stuff. Oh, sorry, it's only for Japan. Sorry, everyone else who's not in Japan. Like, I don't know. It was very odd the way they did the whole thing together. And then they had one of the producers who like runs, that component of Dragon Quest, who's like the person who calls them out, like says, hey, you're saying too much. You know too much. You're not meant to announce this stuff. And it's hard for me to know how much of this is staged or, it is very Japanese. Maybe this is real and they're literally trying to prevent people from saying too much. And he actually had a bell. You should actually listen to it. It's really funny, Mike. And they're talking about Dragon Quest 3 and they're going, oh, it's going so well. We've already started working on Dragon Quest 1 and 2 and we want to do Dragon Quest 4. And then the guy's ringing the bell like crazy.
Wow. But surely, I mean, if the guy had a bloody bell with him, is that not staged, or do you think it could still be legit and it was just a way, in case these guys are going to get out of control, I better take this with me kind of thing?
I mean, it seems more common in Japan, doesn't it, Swinny, where you have creators who say too much.
Oh, yeah.
And the companies that run them don't want them to say. They have like a structure of what they want them to say. And then they just like say too much to
They just get
the
excited
media.
about what they're trying to work on.
So I was pretty pumped about that. But then I was thinking also, Jesus, if they start re-releasing all of the games, I'm going to get in trouble.
Look, we've said it before and other people said it. Just looking at this, you can't not think Final Fantasy VI when you look at this stuff. You're like, oh
Thank
my
you.
God, a HD 2D Final Fantasy VI would just be almost like the perfect game.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's wild. It is wild.
Yeah, like Final Fantasy VI, Mike, it's still amazing. Like, I think Super Metroid still holds up perfectly today. Maybe Final Fantasy VI doesn't necessarily. I still love it to death, but in this style, oh my God, that's the first game, Swinny, that I thought of. I was just like, Jesus, can they re-release Final Fantasy VI in this style? Because it doesn't feel like they want to remake it. So this is the best way to remake it, surely.
Yeah.
Oh, it'd be so good.
I think they've probably got onto something that they're like, oh, this is so good now. We can do so much with this. We can make so much money from this.
And I'm happy with that.
Yeah. So we also had a couple of other announcements I just want to call out. So Dragon Quest Treasures is a Dragon Quest XI spin-off featuring Erik and Mia as children. So Erik is one of your party members in Dragon Quest XI, and he's definitely not a child in that game. And Mia is his sister, but I'm not far enough. Well, they're brother and sister in the trailer and everything.
I know, that's true.
So I'm not far enough in the story to know how much of that is kind of teased in Dragon Quest XI, their history and stuff. So that looks interesting. And something I just want to talk about, to me, is just such a weird thing. So is Dragon Quest X, the MMO entry in the series, is getting a version called Dragon Quest X offline. So they're making a single-player adaptation of the series' MMO entry, which is just wild to me. Now, apparently, the map is going to be smaller and stuff because it's a single-player experience, but I can't think of any game that's ever really done this. Like, a lot of MMOs will have content that's only designed for single players, but to have a version, especially years later, to say, we're now making a single-player version of this MMO we made. It's really, really bizarre.
Because it's the 10th year of Dragon Quest X, the MMO, and it's only ever been in Japan, Mike. It's never come out to the West. And it's quite funny because Dragon Quest 8 and 9 were fairly popular for the first time in the West. And then they just, they skipped it, and then Dragon Quest 11 came out. And people aren't paying attention, like, well, hang on, where's Dragon Quest 10? But, I know it's an MMO, but I thought it was mostly a single player MMO. I don't think it takes full advantage of it, the fact that it is an MMO, from what I understand. Now, maybe I'm completely off base here.
Yeah, I don't want to get into the details on this one because honestly, I'm very ignorant of those details. But it's just a really, really just a bizarre thing to do in my head. So
it is really weird. So, Mike, it got originally released on the Wii, Dragon Quest X, the MMO, only in Japan. And then it kept on moving to other platforms, like, and people just kept on moving their characters across to like PlayStation 4 and to Wii U, and it's such a weird one, man. It's Switch, so the Switch has Dragon Quest X, but it's only Japan.
That's weird.
And they're up to season 6. I don't know, it's very strange. I did love the energy from the guy who is the producer, I think, or director of Dragon Quest X. The way he clapped, it was like so energetic. I loved it. So, would you pick up something like Dragon Quest X offline? Because we don't even know if it's going to be released in the West, by the way.
Oh, I don't know. Look, honestly, I've got so much of backlog of Dragon Quest games in general anyway. Specifically, still need to really dive deep into Dragon Quest XI still. So
You're probably going to get to Dragon Quest 3 before.
probably.
And like I was so happy that they did Dragon Quest 3, because the people who are really into Dragon Quest say that if you wanted to get back into the retro ones, Dragon Quest 3 is the one you'd want to play. So yeah, it's cool that they're doing that one.
Ooh.
All right, all the Dragon Quest news that you want.
And more.